partnerships here and abroad. I would like to gain credibility and find a role in technology, analytics, or operations. My desire to help others problem solve, see growth in vast markets, and develop new skills make me an asset.
What was the most useful criticism you ever received from an immediate supervisor? How did you embrace this feedback and achieve a positive outcome?
The most useful criticism I received was to put myself in the shoes of my clients. Being able to understand our clients on a deeper level, especially their necessity, helped me to be able to perform better, and also allowed me to understand them on a deeper level. That way, when we made a connection, it was able to be a smooth and easier transaction for ourselves, but also for the clients, and even build better rapport.
Tell me about a time when you didn't agree with a corporate strategy or an initiative. What was the strategy? Why didn't you agree with it? And what did you do?
An initiative that my company implemented just recently when taking automotive claims calls is having an automated system automatically pick up the call. When previously we would just hear the rings, and after 6 rings we would pick up. The automated call or the automated tone was something that I didn't agree with, because as a automotive claims adjuster, we need time to be able to, in between calls, to be able to process a claim, verify that pricing is correct, and being able to fan out and really hone in on the details that take a little bit more time. And I felt that a automated pickup system would interfere with that work that we normally do after a call. What I decided to do, instead of complaining, was giving that automated system a try. This was my first week using the automated system, and I've seen better results because I can still control those details that I normally would before then. It's just, the automated system makes picking up the phone that much quicker, so we can be able to help our clients better.
Think of an example when one of your customers was not pleased with you or something your team did. What was the situation and how did you recover?
I had an example where a client called in a mechanic shop, and the part that had failed was a throttle position sensor, and it's located inside a throttle body. And our contract states that the sensor is covered, but the throttle body is not. As claims adjusters, we need to follow the procedures based off of the contract. So my co-worker denied out the claim. I got the call, and the customer as well as our client, which is the mechanic shop, were both upset. After reviewing it and taking a look into it with the supervisor, we both determined and deemed that with this situation, the component that had failed should be covered, because even though the sensor that was failed was inside that non-covered part, it still was something that needed to be covered, and we felt that it was in the best interest for not just us, but for the client, that way they knew that we were able to help them and understand their situation.
Can you share a time where you were able to directly attribute your probing skills to solve a problem with a difficult customer?
Yes, I had a situation where in automotive claims, we always ask a lot of questions to determine failures to parts and components. So I had a mechanic shop call in on a vehicle that was a 2018 Chevy Silverado. After we had gone through the diagnosis, he had recommended to replace the engine. Now, being that it's 2021, how can a vehicle with that year and mileage have failed? So what we do is we ask a lot of probing questions, things such as, what was the level of the oil? Was the oil clear? Was it burnt? When you were looking at the oil or the fluid of the vehicle, Were there metal shavings inside of it? Did you guys do further diagnosis, or what we call is tear down, break into the engine and find out exactly what was the point of failure? Normally those questions are there to be able to help us weed out unnecessary failures, and a lot of mechanic shops that don't do those types of detailed information with the vehicles sometimes will find their experience a little bit more difficult. So the client felt that what we were asking was unreasonable. So what we do in those situations is that we send out an inspector, third-party inspector, to come out and view the vehicle to help determine what's failed. So in the end, we did wind up sending the inspector, and the engine was actually in good condition. It wasn't failed, is what the inspector determined. And being able to ask those probing questions, even though it was tedious, helped the company save money and not having to repair a component that normally runs quite a few $1,000s.
Would you mind telling me about a time where you showed initiative? What prompted you to get started, and what were the results?
I remember that in one of my experiences within customer service, I've never been a person to sell anything. I've always been the type of person that, someone tells me no, that's the end of it. So one time our company was pushing to be able to sell travel insurance. Around that time, there were a lot of natural disasters and things like that happening. And, I took the initiative myself to really try to sell this a little bit more. How I did that was I researched a little bit more about the insurance, the benefits, and really why it's really important to have that. And I took that initiative. I didn't wait for a manager or a coworker or someone else to tell me about it. I needed to know for myself, why do I want to sell this, or why is the company pushing so hard to sell something? So once I understood the value of the product and understand what it had to offer, from there I was able to go on ahead and sell those policies with confidence. And if the client told me no, there was no harm, no foul. If they told me yes, I was able to set them up for those policies, and also kind of provide them with some type of protection in those situations.
Can you describe a time when you evaluated the level of value you brought to a customer over time? How did you accomplish this?
Level of value. I had an experience before where I had a client that had ordered some components, and those components, every time that he had previously ordered them, they came in damaged or incomplete. So by the time that I had gotten the call to assist this client, he was very upset regarding his experience with just the whole entire shipping process and just trying to get his product complete. So what I did is I contacted the shipping company that was shipping the product, tried to see what the issue was. Now this shipping company unfortunately was continuing to have a bad representation and bad report of not delivering products in a good timely manner, but also with products being damaged or missing. So what I did is that I spoke with my manager about other possibilities, and we found another shipping company that the company was interested in working with, and we wanted to give them a try. So we contracted this particular shipment out with this new company, and the client received their product whole and complete. The company that we used went above and beyond and was able to verify that they always inspected the package, making sure that they weren't damaged. When they got there to the location, they performed what we call like a white glove service, meaning that they were able to make sure that the component wasn't damaged, that they were able to be installed properly, and that any trash or things like that was was picked up and thrown away. And just that whole experience, once the customer did get his shipment complete, his whole entire demeanor changed. I feel like the value I was able to put to that customer was confidence in not just me, but in the company, knowing that, there are people here to help him in any situation, and really try to understand that. And that's the value that I can bring.
Can you recall a time where you were less than pleased with your performance? What did you do about it?
I remember a time that during working in claims, especially automotive claims, our goal is always to at least work 30 plus claims a day. My performance, being hired into this company and working on a developmental project, was being hindered because I was rotating between two different departments at the same time. So once I was just focusing on this one department, I was able to put all of my efforts into being able to become a better employee, but also a better adjuster. So what I would do is I would always track my progress day by day. I would ask my supervisor for a report, how many calls I did, what's my handle time. And slowly what I would do is I'd always make sure to take the next call, instead of, taking a minute in between. I'll take a couple seconds to take that extra call and improve it. And slowly but surely I was able to improve my performance, not just on the call volume, but also in my overall experience with our clients, being able to provide them with better service, and also make better connections all around.
Would you mind describing your level of competitiveness and tell me about a time or a specific situation where your competitiveness helped you achieve better results than your peers?
Competitiveness. So I've played sports all of my life, and due to that nature, I am very competitive. I think competitiveness for me isn't just about being better than the other person. It's wanting to grow. When you have somebody that's probably better at you at something, I take it, me personally, as a challenge to either be at that level or be better. So what I normally do in those situations, for example, right now our company is doing, every month we are entitled to a $400 bonus based off of our performance. And they break it down into 3 categories. So I always look at the progress of where I am in those categories compared to my other coworkers. And there are some coworkers that are higher than me in those situations. And what I do is I always ask them for tips, tricks. How can I be better? How can I be faster? What can I do here? What can I do there? That drive and that competitiveness for me to become better at something helps me get to a higher level, but also be a better employee. I don't like being stagnant. I always like to grow, and being able to compete and being willing to learn allows me to achieve that.
Can you tell me about a time when you identified a new, unusual, or different approach for addressing a problem or task? How did you come to this solution, and what was the outcome?
I think something that I noticed in working in automotive claims, or something that we've been noticing recently, is that a lot of dealerships sell our products, but the dealerships don't explain to the customers what are contracts and what coverage they are being given. They're just there to make a sale. I've had plenty of times where clients call and they think that they've been told that, the contract I was given is bumper to bumper, but really their contract only covers basic things such as like an engine, transmission, turbo, and they don't have the necessary coverage needed for repair. So one thing that I noticed is, with that constant situation is, why aren't our clients and our customers being told up thoroughly about the type of contract or extended vehicle warranty that they're going to purchase. So I wanted to speak with management about that. You know, I asked around if I was the only one that noticed it. A lot of my other coworkers did, and we kind of brought that attention to our management team. You know, as claims adjusters, you know, our goal is to help the client get their vehicle repaired. But with the client being surprised or, you know, being sold one thing and then finding out they have something else, gives them an overall bad experience. So one thing that we mentioned that is once we brought that up to our management and what we were noticing, you know, with that issue, they then brought it up to the sales manager, and he went out to the different dealerships and basically kind of retrained the sales representatives there to be more thorough. Because instead of being more thorough, it's allowed our clients to be more understanding of the type of product they're purchasing, but also to know that, you know, that they're making the best decision for them and that they're not being thought as just a number, but as a customer and somebody important.
What do you feel you have to offer above the average employee when it comes to accomplishing your daily responsibility, dailies and goals? Can you share a specific example?
When it comes to my abilities, I feel like I have many, but one thing that helps me accomplish my daily goals is that I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm always willing to learn every day, and I always learn something new. But I feel like one thing that I really am good at is asking questions, especially the things I don't understand. I don't shy away from something I don't understand. I feel like being able to ask a question and learn something new allows me to gain a better understanding of certain concepts, criteria, and allows me to make my performance even better. And by doing so, it also helps me gain rapport with not just other coworkers, but management when it comes to a certain policy or anything like that, or a procedure. Them knowing that I ask questions to be able to learn something new, I feel this helped me gain much more accomplishment and performance at my work. Thank you for the interview. I do have a question for you guys as well. I would like to know, how do you help your employees grow and gain better opportunities within the company?
Well, all employees grow as they take on more jobs from clients, and we do offer promotions within the company as well. Well, depending on your own experience and whether we think you qualify or not. So I believe although we believe that with all the things you've answered today, Joshua, I believe that with a little bit of time, you will be able to grow within this company quite well.
All right. Thank you very much.